Hi, my name is Emil Stridefelt. I'm a consultant for Sign Software, working with the product ExFlow in Business Central and NAV. I'm going to show you the process of invoices which are matched to a purchase order. What I've done is I've interpreted two invoices with order numbers in a OCR service of my choice. So what we want to do is go to ExFlow import journals. Here I have set up two journals, one for default invoices and one for invoices which are matched to a purchase order in the system. So the first thing I want to do is batch import documents. In this case, I'll do it manually. A lot of the time it will be a job, scheduled job. And yes. There we go. We can see that two invoices has been imported into Kronos SC, which is a company. If we can see on this line here, we see we have two documents. These are the two documents which I imported, and we can also see the filter only matched purchase order match documents. I'll open up this journal and I can see that I have two invoices. The invoices which have come in has this PDF and all the details which we see on the header level has been automatically captured by the OCR service. We can see that we have a order number. This order number is connected to a purchase order in BC and has previously been approved through ExFlow. Same goes for both two lines. We can see down below that we have two lines and one receipt number. These are the two lines that have been received on that purchase order with the prices. What we do is we check that the direct unit cost for both lines equal the interpreted total amount of the invoice. And in this case, it does. We can also see that we have a approval rule selected for both lines, which is basically a set of rules which I've set up to capture all the furniture items to be sent to one specific set of approvals. So in this case, for this line, we can see that we have Cecilia Sidebaum and Eric Eriksson as approvers in that order. Same goes for line number 2, because they're both furniture. When I'm happy with the invoice, in this case, the pre-invoice is not created in BC yet, I will go to create and create this specific invoice. You can do a batch create if you have many invoices, but I'll do one for now. We can now see that this ExFlow document has been converted into an invoice in BC with this invoice number, and it disappears from our list. We can now see that we automatically put on the second line or second invoice in turn with its own PDF and all the interpreted data such as before. The one difference we have with this invoice is a freight cost. So if you see on this invoice, since we only capture header data, we have the total amount. But if you look at the lines, we have a shipping fee. Here we have another intelligent set of rules that will automatically create a line for you if it's within certain rules and limits. So in this case, it's perfect because I assume that some invoices will have freight charges for up to $50. And in this case, it was $49.99, and that was automatically created for me with a specific approval rule. So if I select this line, I can see down below that I have Eric Eriksson as an approver, since he's in charge of all the freight costs. And on the lines above, I have a specific POIT, so it's the IT responsible parties of the company. In this case, it's Bertil Bo and Eric Eriksson for both lines, since they're both IT related. I will do the same process for this one, create invoice. I would like to mention that most of the buttons that I press do have shortcuts connected to them. So for instance, function key 9, F9, would do the same thing. Now we have no more invoices to process in this journal, so I will close it down. and go back to the start, and we have another menu called ExFlow Approval Status. This is where we can see all the active invoices, both the purchase order matched ones, and normal invoices. In this case, I only have these two invoices, and as we can see, they've both been set for ready for posting automatically. And this is using the logic that I've set up rules that will look at the invoice to see if it's been matched to an order, and if that order has been already approved, I don't see a point in approving it twice. So in this case, since everything was as I expected, there wasn't any costs or anything that was not expected. So these are both just fine to be posted straight away, since nothing needs to be changed. We can see down below, though, that the lines still have their approvers, but they have been approved by the admin, which is the system owner in this case. These users will be able to search depending on what rules we've set up for the user, but they will be able to either search for their own invoices. So these would be regarded as their own invoices, even though they've not been processed through our approval web. If they've been set up as an admin, obviously they can search for any invoice. So everything is approved by the system in this case and ready for posting. So what I want to do is post batch is a button you can use to post all the invoices that have been ready, have the status ready for posting. Or you could use the same function key 9 as before. So I will demonstrate with clicking the F9 button. I get the question if I want to post invoice, yes. And I get the document number and it disappears from my list. So now it's been posted and it's disappeared from my list. It's now in the posted invoices list. I'll do the same for the second one. When the invoices has been posted, you're always able to go into history and ExFlow approval status history, which is a very similar view to the approval status, but this only has the posted invoices. These two at the bottom are the ones that we just saw come into the system, get automatically approved, and finally posted. What you can do from here is you can navigate to, for instance, this phenomenal vendor, and then you can open record 106010, which is the order which is connected to this invoice. And here you can see the original purchase order in BC. And you can see that the quantity invoiced is 4 out of 4 and 2 out of 2. So there's nothing more to invoice for this specific purchase order. You can also navigate to the GL entries if you would like to, and see all the entries done for this posted invoice.